Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to this Google Digital Garage training session all about getting your business visible on Google. And this morning we are here in partnership with Wenta. So my name's Kirsty and I'm a Google's free skills training program trainer from Google Digital Garage, as I've just mentioned, and I am really excited to be here with you today. One of my passions as a trainer, as a marketer, is to help connect independent businesses, startups, SMEs, charitable organizations in some cases, to really find their digital foot in the door, start to create this online presence, and really understand how they can start to connect with the customers that they want to bring into their businesses. So really pleased to have you here today, but I'm not here alone. In the chat, you may have already seen, we have our moderator there, Chami, today. So please do go ahead to the chat, say hello, introduce yourself and your business. Let us know why you're signing in today. Are you looking to gain traction with a certain audience in a certain place? And also Chami is going to be there today to answer any questions that come through. He's also going to share some questions through to me when we pause. While you head over into the chat and say hello, I'm going to run through a little bit of housekeeping to get us going. So first of all, if you have any trouble hearing or seeing this webinar, please do try refreshing your browser. Hopefully that's going to help. Any issues that's going on in the system there, you can make sure that you've refreshed and the sound hopefully will be better, or any freezing of that image will be better for you as well. If you'd like to join in with that chat that I was just talking about and you can't find where it is, it should be, if you're on a computer, a laptop or a desktop, it should be to the right hand side of the video that you can see me on today. If you're on a mobile device or a tablet, if you scroll down below the video, you should see the chat available below there. Now, you will need to make sure, in order to take part in that chat, that you're signed into your YouTube account. Remember, we can't see you, we can't hear you, but we can communicate with you in that chat as if we're in the same room. So please do head over into the chat and get going and talking with us. Finally, this is not a standalone session. We have had many sessions with Wenta, so please do go ahead and have a look at all the upcoming sessions. We've also, in the link to the description of this video, got the link to our Google Digital Garage schedule, so you can come and have a look at all the upcoming sessions that are in that schedule for you to sign up to. So I think that's the housekeeping done. So like I said, we're going to be talking all about getting your business visible on Google today. And this session is really aimed at helping you start to get to grips with how to be visible on Google and how you can really ensure that customers are not only searching for the right products or services, but they're connecting with your online presence and starting to connect that customer journey. So we're going to separate this session into 3 core areas. The first part is going to be all about thinking about how your customers find your business. What words are they searching for? How can they actually get into that online space that you have as an organization? Then the middle part of this session, we're going to start to think about actually building that presence within Google Search or Google Maps, whichever is going to be most relatable for you as an organization. And finally, I'm going to leave you with a third section all about continuing to optimize that visibility on Google. So before I jump into part 1, which is about really understanding how your customers find your business, I also want to highlight this amazing opportunity for free one-to-one mentoring available from Google. Please do take this link down, g.co/UK mentoring, because what you can do as a UK business, charity, sole trader, wherever you are in this journey, you can take that link and you can sign up for an hour mentoring session. You can have more than one, which is fantastic. So you can have a session session where you first of all discuss your strategy. You might then have a second session where you just start to discuss your Google business profile. So you can sign up and make use of this amazing resource that we have available for you. So take that link down, g.co/UK mentoring. So let's get started. Let's jump into that part one, shall we? And we're going to kick it off with some statistics, because it always really makes that the statistics always kind of land it home with us, don't they? So 3 out of 4 online customers use a search engine to find a business. So 3 out of 4 of your customers are looking for you in a search engine before they find you as a business. It's a lot of people. That's a high percentage of your potential customers. And 82% of smartphone users reported routinely conducting local mobile searches. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, because this idea, and I can see in the chat we have a tapas restaurant with us this morning. So is that Anna? Yeah, Anna. We have in Manchester a tapas restaurant, and you're looking to improve that online presence and reach more customers. Great. So this idea of the fact that 82% of smartphone users are looking routinely for these local businesses is going to be really important to a business like yours. And that's what we think about when we start to think about maps and those phrases. Maybe someone might type in tapas near me when they're in the vicinity of Manchester. So it's starting to think about how you can appear for the searches that your customers or potential customers are looking for. So I'm going to put this out to you. Let's now imagine we're all going to go for pizza. We're going to get some pizza today, all together as a group. If I said to you, get your phone out right now and search for a pizza restaurant or a pizza delivery, depending if you want to get a takeout or if we're going to book a table, how would you go and search for a pizza restaurant? Tell me in the chat. I want to know, well, I'm not going to give you a clue. I would like you to do it. Get your phone out. We're going for pizza together as a group from this webinar today. And I want you to let me know how you would find us the perfect restaurant. How would you search for that service, for the best pizza, for pizza delivery, for a restaurant to book a table at? How would you search for that? Myself, depending on where I was, I think I would probably go for Google Maps. And I would search pizza restaurant or pizza and my local place that I am. And I would see some of those listings on the maps that come up, and I would see how far away they were from where I was. I'd start to look at those listings in the Google Maps. So once you thought about how you would search for a pizza restaurant, I'd also like you to tell me the answer to the second. What factors would help you decide which listing, which pizza listing we're going to go for? So we've said the distance. I said the distance. I would look at how far away they are. What else would make you decide, yep, that's where we're going? That looks great. And I can see, Anna, you'd use Google Maps as well. Then we can see the achievement architect there. Google Maps, Italian restaurant near me. Absolutely, definitely a great choice. Reviews, nice, absolutely. So we'd maybe look at distance, we'd look at reviews. Anything else? What else might we look at to make sure that we are really making the best choice? I might look at things like the photographs. And anyone else with the photographs on these listings? Sometimes I'll see some really sort of almost posed photos, like catalogue photos of food. And that actually has the opposite effect for me personally. If I see something that looks not quite real, too good to be true, then I potentially would go and look at another listing to have a look at sort of what customers have posted in regards to photos, so that I can get a real idea of what it's going to look like authentically. Nice. So many comments coming through. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sharon, social media like Instagram. Yeah, again, getting that kind of authenticity, right? That live feeling of what's going on. And New York style in the description and reviews. So you've got a specific thing that you'd be looking for, Kit, and you'd want to know, is it New York style? Otherwise, it's not quite good enough for you. Ratings again, yeah, reviews. What else have we got there? Comments, yeah. So any specific comments about service or the taste or whatever that product or service is. Yeah, great. Thank you so much for getting involved, everyone. Keep it up. I will have a few more questions for you as we move through the session. But starting to do something like this together and thinking about how you would use your devices to start to look for a specific service or a specific product, bring that back to your business and start to think about how your customers are looking for what you do. And how can you start to plot out what we call the customer online search journey? Now, the rise of the use of our devices, our mobile devices, we are all becoming more and more reliant on these little computers that are usually within an arm's distance of where we are, because we are so used to being able to get any information that we need, any research, anything at the tips of our fingers and very, very quickly. And that includes looking at things that we potentially, if we're in an area we don't know about, being able to do some very quick research on what's around us. So as business owners, we need to flip that. So we've experienced putting ourselves in our customers' shoes. We need to flip that round and start to think about the process that our customers are going to go through before they come to buy, to book, to visit us, depending on what your business is. And the first part of that process starts with the search. Now we can start to think about what type of devices are they searching on? Is it mobile? Now, if you're someone here today in the financial sector, actually you'll probably find that a lot of your customers are searching via a desktop. So depending on your industry, you want to start to think about, are they using their phones, tablets? Are they using an app versus a search engine? How are people starting to search for what you do as a business? So that's the first part of your customer journey. Now, the second part of that is that decision process. So as a customer in that decision process, this is where we start to critically assess everything that we've been able to see through our research and through our search, whether that's Google search, maps, or an app like social media apps, and someone in the chat said, see social media like Instagram. So wherever we've started that search, in that decision process, this is where we start to think about, okay, that had really great reviews, this one had really great photos, and we start to assess what we've been presented with in that research. And the final part of that customer journey is all about engagement and what we expect to receive once we've made that first engagement with that business. So that could be that our first engagement is to hit call and talk to someone on the other side. Maybe our first engagement is to communicate on socials. Maybe that engagement is to actually get directions and go straight to that location. So whatever that engagement is, we want to start to understand what our customers want to do once they've decided we're the business for them. So can you start to plot out your customer's journey? And maybe you've got 2 or 3 ways that people can end up at the same point. Can you start to plot that out so you understand exactly where those touch points are for your customers with your business? And that's when you can start to think about search. Now, there is this age-old concept of if you build it, they will come, but it doesn't quite ring true when we come to things like our websites or our social platforms. We need to be engaging. We need to engage what we do, especially with our website, in order for people to find us for those relevant search terms and the relevant topics that we want to talk about. Now I'm going to play you a video here all about how search works. Now we're talking about Google search, but search engines all serve a very similar purpose. You know, they're all built to provide the searcher with the most relevant set of search results to that search query. Now, what I have just realised is I quickly need to make sure I have shared sound. So I'm going to go full screen for you for a second, and I'm just going to switch over and make sure I've shared that system audio, and I'm sure Chami can come back in and just make sure that my shared screen is back on screen for me. So if he can do that, that would be great, and I'll press play on the video. That's it. Perfect. Thank you very much, Chami. So here we go.
Every day, billions of people come here with questions about all kinds of things. Sometimes we even get questions about Google search itself, like how this whole thing actually works. And while this is a subject entire books have been written about, there's a good chance you're in the market for something a little more concise. So let's say it's getting close to dinner and you want a recipe for lasagna. You've probably seen this before, but let's go a little deeper. Since the beginning, back when the homepage looked like this, Google has been continuously mapping the web, hundreds of billions of pages, to create something called an index. Think of it as the giant library we look through whenever you do a search for lasagna or anything else. Now, the word lasagna shows up a lot on the web. Pages about the history of lasagna, articles by scientists whose last name happened to be lasagna, stuff other people might be looking for. But if you're hungry, randomly clicking through millions of links is no fun. This is where Google's ranking algorithms come into play. First, they try to understand what you're looking for, so they can be helpful even if you don't know exactly the right words to use or if your spelling is a little off. Then they sift through millions of possible matches in the index and automatically assemble a page that tries to put the most relevant information up top for you to choose from. Okay, now we have some results. But how did the algorithms actually decide what made it onto the first page? There are hundreds of factors that go into ranking search results, so let's talk about a few of them. You may already know that pages containing the words you search for are more likely to end up at the top. No surprise there. But the location of those words, like in the page's title or in an image's caption, those are factors too. There's a lot more to ranking than just words. Back when Google got started, we looked at how pages linked to each other to better understand what pages were about and how important and trustworthy they seemed. Today, linking is still an important factor. Another factor is location, where a search happens. Because if you happen to be in Ormea, Italy, you might be looking for information about their annual lasagna festival. But if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, you probably aren't. When a web page was uploaded is an important factor too. Pages published more recently often have more accurate information, especially in the case of a rapidly developing news story. Of course, not every site on the web is trying to be helpful. Just like with robocalls on your phone or spam in your email, there are a lot of sites that only exist to scam, and every day scammers upload millions more of them. So just because instantvirusdownload.net lists the words lasagna recipe 400 times, that doesn't mean it's going to help you make dinner. We spend a lot of time trying to stay one step ahead of tricks like these, making sure our algorithms can recognize scam sites and flag them before they make it to your search results page. So let's review. Billions of times a day, whenever someone searches for lasagna, or resume writing tips, or how to swaddle a baby, or anything else, Google software locates all the potentially relevant results on the web, removes all the spam, and ranks them based on hundreds of factors like keywords, links, location, and freshness. Okay, good time to take a breath. This last part is about how we make changes to search, and it's important. Since 1998, when Google went online, people seem to have found our results pretty helpful. But the web is always changing, and people are always searching for new things. In fact, 1 in every 7 searches is for something that's never been typed into the search box before, by anyone, ever. So we're always working on updates to search, thousands every year. Which brings up a big question. How do we decide whether a change is making search more helpful? Well, one of the ways we evaluate potential updates to search is by asking people like you. Every day, thousands of search quality raters look at samples of search results side by side. then give feedback about the relevance and reliability of the information. To make sure those evaluations are consistent, the raters follow a list of Search Quality Evaluator guidelines. Think of them as our publicly available guide to what makes a good result good. Oh, and one last thing to remember. We use responses from raters to evaluate changes, but they don't directly impact how search results are ranked. So there you have it. Every time you click search, our algorithms are analyzing the meaning of the words in your search, matching them to the content on the web, understanding what content is most likely to be helpful and reliable, and then automatically putting it all together in a neatly organized page designed to get you the info you need. All in, 0.81 seconds? Wow. Anyone else ready for dinner? Interested in learning more? We've got a whole website dedicated to how search works. Just click right here. Want to read the Search Quality Rater guidelines for yourself? Click right here.
Amazing. Yeah, I could see in the chat there was a couple of volume issues at the beginning, so we will absolutely make sure that that link is in the chat for you, and to make sure that you can watch that video fully, because it's so useful to be able to really start to understand what Google is actually looking for when it comes to your site and the way that people are searching for your products and your services, and what you can do. So we'll make sure that Chami gets that link in the chat for you as soon as possible, to make sure that you can really go back and watch that. And I'll actually pop it in myself as well for you, because Chami, I can't see any of your links coming through. So let me pop that in. There you go. So make sure you do watch that later on. I would absolutely love for you to make sure that you see that. So we're starting to think about how Google views our services, and for some of those bits that you've missed in that beginning of the session, beginning of that video, Google is starting to really think about how people are searching, whether that's geographically searching for your product, whether they are searching for specific keywords. And we saw that it's not just going to put up a relevant web page for the searcher if that page has been keyword stuffed, for example. So mentioning pizza 1,000 times on a page does not automatically mean that that page is going to get ranked. So it's all about you as a business starting to build content that's relevant, that's consistent, and that is exactly what your potential customers want to see when they're searching for a product or a service that you provide. So when we're starting to look at this question, are customers searching for your products and services online? If the answer is yes, and you don't have an online presence, you've got no visibility there, are you missing out on an opportunity? Are you missing out on an opportunity to connect with those potential future customers? Now, I want to introduce you to a fantastic tool here called Google Trends. Now, Google Trends is a great free tool that you can use to start to really dig in a little bit deeper around the physical search terms, those words, those questions that people are typing into a search engine to find certain products or services that are local to them. So with Trends, you can see here, we've got an example. So we've typed in plumbers near me as a search term. And we can, first of all, start to have a look at the trends over time and how people have started to really connect with that search term. And especially if you think about if anyone's ever had to look for a plumber, we would have gone online, we would have gone to a local trade magazine, maybe a local notice board where we know we get tradespeople post their business cards, whatever it is, right? But actually, again, coming back to those mobile devices, over time, this type of search term has become more and more and more popular because we have these devices. Now, what you can also do is compare search terms. So you could maybe put plumbers Manchester, and see, okay, do we get more searches for plumbers near me or plumbers near our specific area? And you can continue to start looking at that over a longer period of time, a shorter period of time, to really dive into some of that keyword research. Now that brings us to the end of our first part. Now I can't see any particular questions coming through, so let me have a look. No, I can't see any questions coming through, thanks Chami, but please do, Chami is there in the chat. If you have any questions at all as we move through the session, ask away. I'll either come back to them in the next pausing for questions, or Chami's there also to answer any questions that come through as we keep moving. So part 2 of today's session is starting to think about where. So we now understand why it's important, how people are searching, how our customers, our potential customers, are looking for what we do in a search engine, on maps, or whatever it is when it comes to our services, our downloads, our booking forms, whatever it is you do as a business. But the next part is to now think, okay, so where should we be present? Where's going to be the best place for us to have a presence when it comes to the search engine? How do we help people find us? Now, today we're thinking about Google. We're thinking about that search engine. Many of you probably already have a social media page, which is again another form of online presence. So or maybe email marketing, whatever it is. But we're focusing here on building the presence on Google within that search engine. And the first place to start is to look at a search engine results page. A SERP, SERP, is how you may have previously seen it, or if you're doing any future reading, you might see that phrase come up, CERP, all capitals, and it means the search engine results page. Now, as the video said, most search engines work in the same way. When a person wants to find something, they put in their question or their search word or phrase, which is called the search query, which we can see right at the top of this search engine results page screenshot here. And then the job of the search engine is to create the most relevant list of results possible, to really start to help that searcher find exactly what they're looking for. So this search engine results page includes a number of different types of results. So at the top of that results page, we can start to see our search ads. So we've also got shopping ads. So you can see we've got those visual ads along the top of products. Then we've got our text-based ads in the search engine that have that little green icon that says add next to it, which we would then know they're a text-based search ad. Underneath those ads, we then have what we call our organic listings. And this is where everyone wants to be when it comes to our first page of Google. This is where every business wants to be appearing. But on the right-hand side, when we're looking at a search engine on a desktop or a laptop, we can sometimes also get these Google business listings, which you can see on the right hand side here. So we can start to see things like those reviews we talked about earlier, photographs, we can see the rating, we can start to see information around that business. So we can start to see things like opening times, phone numbers, website links. There's loads of different things that we can get from these Google business listings. So when we start to break down this anatomy of a search engine, we can start to understand, okay, when our customers are searching for what we do, where is their focus going to be drawn to? And what's going to be most useful for us? And that's where we can come back to that customer journey we talked about in the beginning of this session. And there's 3 core areas you can start to break down where you can be found on Google: organic search, business listings, and paid search. So we can start to break that down into 3 core areas. Now, again, those organic listings are the spaces of websites that appear without being paid for. They're not paid advertisements. They are organically matched to that searcher's search query at the top. And through the network of algorithms that we saw in that video, they are placed there based on relevancy, based on authority, based on topic, location, and actually being there in an authoritative space. The business listings, this is almost like a portfolio of what you do, and you can add call to action buttons and loads of business information, and we'll talk through that in a little bit more detail in a second. And then you've got your paid search. This is the paid advertising. It's the marketing method where you pay to appear at the top of those search engine results page. So let's break these down one by one. So search engine optimization, SEO. This is the practice of increasing not only the quantity, but also the quality of traffic to your website through organic search results. Now, we saw in that video, Google has more than 200 signals that determine exactly how a page is going to rank when it comes to the search engine. But some of the most important aspects for you as a business owner, when you're just getting started with this, is to think about, am I being consistent? Is the content that I'm putting on my website relevant to my audience? And is it really what my customers are looking for? Am I speaking directly to the people that I want to bring into the fold of my business? So when we start thinking about optimizing for success with search engine optimization, there really is no shortcut. SEO can help you improve your website's visibility, and it is a bit of a buzzword, especially when people are searching for the products or services that you provide. So the first step is to come back to tools like Google Trends that we mentioned earlier and start to do some keyword research. Start to really discover exactly what words, phrases, questions your potential customers are asking when they're searching for what you do, or anything related to your business and your industry. What are they looking for? Really important. So start to understand your keywords and run that research. Then we can start to think about what we call on-page optimization. So within your website, starting to make changes or updating individual pages or adding pages where you're publishing useful, high quality content that isn't just stuffed full of the keywords you want to rank for, but content that is relevant to your audience and what you do as a business to help solve your audience's problem, because every business is a solution to someone's problem. So how can you make sure that you are talking about why you are the most relevant business organization to solve that problem? And finally, not only talking directly to the human side of that search engine, and the people that are using the search engine to find the right business, but also making sure that you're making every page on your website web search friendly. And there's things that we call the title tag or the meta description, which in any web builder that you're using, website builder, you can physically edit these for every single page. Now, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of how you do that because there's so many builders. But for example, if you were building your website on Wix, you could Google, how do I edit the meta description for my Wix website? And I guarantee you, Wix or any other builder will have a fantastic set of resources for you to use to improve some of these more technical SEO elements of your site. Now, having a very clear title and a very clear meta description, those are the things that are pulled across into the search engine. So when you look at those search engine results and you've got the dark blue bit at the top, which is the title, and then you've got the description, that is a meta description. And you can decide roughly what is eligible to go there. So making sure again that you're making that as relevant as possible and really, really clear to exactly what they're going to find on the next page. Don't try and speed up this SEO process, really important. Any sneaky techniques that you might come across in your research, Google and other search engines are becoming smart. And actually, by using some of these techniques, like what keyword stuffing is one of them that is very, very common and very popular, your site can actually get penalized for using them. So it can take time to rank organically, but it's really worth doing it consistently and taking and giving it that care and attention. Really important when you're working on the SEO, come back to your user's intent. Start to look at those keywords that you're thinking about. Okay, so trainers, shoes for nurses, trail running shoes. These are the types of things that people would potentially start typing when they're at the very beginning of their search journey. But as they start to get more intent, they know that they really like your business, they start to use words that we call long tail keywords. So rather than trainers, they're now searching for things like best running trainers for flat feet. So this is where we come to thinking about our audience, and we think about, okay, the benefits to our audience, to our customers, rather than just the features. So rather than we sell trainers, we sell the best running trainers for flat feet. So you're starting to niche down what you do to your specific customer, your specific audience. And you're going to have more chance of hitting that audience when their intent to buy, to book, to follow through to your next actionable is at the highest point. Now, another tool I'd like to introduce to you before we move to the next part of the session is Google Search Console. Now, Google Search Console is another free tool that you can connect through to your website, and it has a couple of different functions, but some of the most important ones for you at the beginning of this journey is to start looking at things like how you rank on Google. So it will keep an eye out on how your website is doing within those organic search results, and it will give you that ranking so you can start to understand where you place on average for your business. You can also start to have a look at the keyword search query list that it gives you, and it will start to give you real keywords that real people have used in order to land on your website. So you can start to understand exactly how people are engaging with your site. There's also other reports in there, like speed reports, to make sure that your website is working well once people get to it, and anything to do with any bugs or errors that are happening with specific pages. So it's a really great tool for you to use when it comes to anything SEO. Make sure you've taken that link down at the bottom of the page there, g.co/search console, and you can get started with connecting that to your site. Now, the next part of SEO, and we've touched on this a little bit here, is local SEO. So we talked about people using their mobile phones and starting to make these local searches. Now, local SEO is all about increasing search visibility for businesses that serve their communities face to face. So if you are someone that has a physical bricks and mortar store or restaurant, then local SEO is really important to you. And this is where we start to think about maps and these Google business profiles, whether that's on a desktop or a mobile device, like what you can see here. Our Google business profile can appear in Google search itself, or if someone is using the Maps app directly. Now, people searching on mobile phones are frequently, as we discussed earlier, looking for businesses nearby to solve their problem. And they're using that phrase, near me, more and more and more. It's increased twofold in the past few years of how many people are using that near me phrase. So when it comes to creating a Google business profile, in 4 very simple steps here, go to business.google.com, and there you can create your Google business profile. When you're filling it out, it's like a form. It will take you through step by step. You can follow that process. It will ask you to either add, if you have no listing on Maps, you can either add a brand new business, or if you know that you have reviews or you have customers that have posted photos of your business already, but you don't own that listing, you can actually select the business that's already there in Maps. Once you've done that, it will ask you to enter some basic information, and then you will go through that verification process. Once you've verified your listing and gone through that step-by-step process. You will then be able to optimize, add more photos, reply to reviews, and to make use of all the other features that comes with this profile. Now, what I would say is we have a great session called Find Your Customers with Google Maps, which is all about this Google Business Profile. Now, I'm going to spend a couple more slides on looking at what this is, but I would definitely recommend that you head over to that session as one of your future sessions to just get to grips with some of the amazing features that are available within these profiles. Once you've verified your listing, once you've verified that business is yours, show people that you're active. Make sure that you have updated any business information that you can add, opening hours, email, phone numbers, any way that people can connect with you. Add photos so people can get a vibe and get an understanding of who you are as an organization. If you're a physical bricks and mortar store, you also have the option of adding a virtual tour, so people can almost be at your location before they've even visited you. And finally, if you're getting those reviews and you're starting to see those reviews come through, always reply and respond to reviews, whether they are good or bad. Respond to all of them. Make sure that you are really connecting and engaging with the people that are taking the time to talk and engage with your profile online. So that's SEO, search engine optimization, and local SEO. The next part of being found in a search engine was the SEM, search engine marketing. Now, search engine marketing is using paid advertising to ensure that your business's products or services are visible in those search engine results page. And they are those text-based ads at the top, or those shopping adverts that we saw in our search engine anatomy, our screenshot of the search engine results page. Now, to do this, you can use a platform called Google Ads, which is going to allow you to create different types of adverts. Now, the ones that we're primarily looking at here for a search engine are search-based ads or our shopping ads. They're the ones that you're most popularly going to find within a search engine results page. In order to do this, again, we have a fantastic session all about creating paid ads, and I'm going to walk through this very simple 3-step process. But we have a great session that's all about getting started with digital advertising. That's going to really help you get started here. So if you've never created an advert before, I'd recommend that you attend our advertising session, and you can walk through that process and all the different types of ads in a lot more detail with us. But as a top level, if we are creating those text-based search ads, we want to open our Google Ads account and we want to find the big blue button that says New Campaign, where it will ask us to select a campaign goal and therefore select the type of ad that we want to create. So in this case, we're going to create a search ad. Once we've created that search ad, it pretty much is like filling out a form online. We've got our 4 or 5 sections down the side, and we can work through the sections to build the best search ad and search campaign that we can build. Within that process, that keyword research that we did at the very beginning of this session is going to come in handy again, because we can start to choose the right keywords that we want our ad to show for in those search engine results page. What do we want to appear for? Now, in this middle kind of process, there's a lot more to it. We can also think about the demographic information. Who do we want to target? We can select a budget, how much we want to spend. We can also select things like a geographical location that we want that ad to appear for as well. While you're putting this ad together, there's also a free tool that you can use within Google Ads called the Google Keyword Planner. And this will allow you to check what we call the value of each individual keyword before you add them to your Google Ads campaign. So I'm sure Chami can find you the link to the Google Keyword Planner, because again, that is a free tool that you can use with Google Trends to really dive deeper into understanding the keywords that you're going to use. And the final step is to then make sure you're creating an ad that is compelling, an ad that speaks directly to your customers, is relevant, is understandable when it comes to their interpretation of what they're going to get when they click on that ad and then move through to your website. And don't forget to experiment. Sometimes the initial words you think would work might not work. So maybe you want to potentially test different copy, different words for those titles, for those meta descriptions in your ad, to start to see what connects with your audience the best. Which brings us to our second pausing for questions, and we do have a couple of questions. So Kit Swing, I just got stuck confused on a one-to-one before regarding search words, Google Trends, Google Ads. Could you please clarify these stages or how these correlate? You mean on a one-to-one with a Google Digital Garage trainer, or is that separate? Okay, so I got stuck confused on a one-to-one before regarding search words, Google Trends, Google Ads. Could you please clarify these stages? So I can definitely clarify for you though. So in terms of the search words, anything that your potential customers put into a search engine, whether that's a question, whether that's them speaking to their smart speaker, they're asking what we call a search query. And that search query includes a specific amount of keywords that are directly related to the product or service that you provide as a business or organization. Now, those search terms, those search words that you've put there in your question, you can start to research some of these keywords or key phrases, whether they are what we call header terms, short, one word, like the trainers example we had, or whether there's some more detailed long tail keywords or questions that have a little bit more intent behind them. You can start to research those words with tools like Google Trends, the Google Keyword Planner, and there's some other tools out there as well. As you start to do more research, I'm sure you'll come across them, where you can start to understand exactly what words people are searching for when it comes to what you provide as a business. Now, that keyword research is really imperative because it's not only then useful when you move to thinking about the organic search results and making the content on your profile, on your website, as relevant as possible to those search terms. But then we're also going to use those keywords for the SEM, the paid marketing in search. So those words and that research that you do becomes a real concrete platform. So that understanding of exactly what words are being used is super, super important, along with understanding your audience, the two pillars of really finding success when it comes to a search engine. Because you're not only going to use them on your website, in your blogs, on posts, within your descriptions of your Google business profile to aid the SEO side of things, but you're also going to use them when it comes to bidding on those keywords to appear in the search engine results with paid advertising. So I hope that helps in terms of why those search words that you would find within Google Keyword Planner or Trends are going to help in terms of your ads or your organic listings. I hope that helps, Kit. Then we had Sharon, what's a virtual tour? So a virtual tour, if you have a physical bricks and mortar store, go and have a look at some of the local restaurants to you, or anything that has a physical store, and see on the Google Maps if you can find any. So it's where you bring a Google photographer into your store, and they'll almost do a sort of 360 image mapping of your physical store, where people then can on their phone click into that photograph and move around the store and almost feel exactly how it would feel to be inside that store without even visiting your shop, your cafe, your restaurant, whatever it is. So that's what a virtual tour is, and you can find out more information about that when it comes to what photographers. There's partnered photographers with a Google business profile that you should be able to find online with a bit of research there. Then we have one last question before I move on. Gaurav Geralf. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. Sorry if I haven't. We want to get the ranking on Google Map results. So according to you, what's the best method to rank our keywords on the top of Google Map results? Well, again, I'm coming back to Kit's question, and making sure you've done that research, making sure you've used these tools to really understand exactly what people are searching for when it comes to your product or your service. Because it might be that you know exactly what you do, but actually your audience aren't searching for the words that you think they would be. So really starting to come to that research and seeing exactly what people are looking for in regards to your business, in order to start creating consistent content on that maps profile that gets in front of the right audience. Hopefully that helps. Everyone will research a keyword and keep the same like others, how to make it unique and how to know that keyword, what we use, is not used by others. A really good point. So, especially if you're in a competitive market, there's going to be certain keywords that are used by your competitors, for example. But really, it's about your consistency and how you are talking with your brand directly to the audience that you want to bring into your business. And that's what makes it unique. That's what makes you stand out, because you're using those keywords with your product, with your solution to that particular problem, with your branding and how you communicate with your audience. And that's what makes it unique and relevant. How can you really target the people that you want to bring into your business? So I'm going to move into our final part of today's session. I will have one more pausing for questions that I'll circle back around to at the end. So if there's anything else, please do put it in the chat. Remember, Chami is there, so doing an excellent job, I'm sure, of communicating with you. But to finish off, I really want to think about how we boost that presence. So we started to think about the sections where we can be found, keyword research, understanding our audience journey. But it's really important that we come to thinking about your website itself. Is your website mobile friendly? Is your website optimized to give your customers the best service that they can once they come onto your site? And what we mean by that are things like, is it slow? Does it take ages to load? Is everything clickable that they think would be clickable? Are the buttons big enough? Is the text readable, especially on a mobile device? Is it mobile friendly? So is it what we call responsive? Does it look just as good as on a desktop as when someone comes on a mobile device, and does it align in the right way? Really, really important. Now, there's a tool here called Test My Site, which is a free Google tool for looking at some of these things. However, what I will say to you is this tool has been sunset, so it's not actually taking any new data. So we'll still give you the link. It's down at the bottom there, g.co/test my site. But there is another tool, and I'll give this to Chami in the moderation doc so he can post this for you. There's another tool that we recommend, which is called Page Speed Insights. Now, it's a great free tool that you can use to start to have a look at all the similar things that you would have found on this Google tool, but unfortunately, it's just not. It's sunset, so it will eventually not exist. But it will start to give you some information around the speed of images, how your website is performing for different pages, how large maybe images are and file sizes, how that might be affecting your user's experience on your site. If your site has a really good mobile experience, it's more likely that it's going to appear in those mobile search results. So really start to think about how you can optimize the experience of your website, because the better the experience for your user, the more likely it's going to appear when it comes to the search engine results page. When it comes to that Google business listing we've been talking about, make sure that you have claimed and verified that listing. Edit those details. Continue to add or change and update any photos as you progress as a business. If you are collecting reviews, respond to them. Talk to your customers, not just bad reviews where you feel you need to mitigate anything that's happened, but also those people that have left you a great review. Thank them for their time. And you want to manage these Google business listings exactly how you would want to manage a social media page. Because adding as a social media page, you can create posts, you can add photos. Your Google business listing is very, very similar. So if you have a social media manager or you have someone that also works with you on your online presence, you can actually add managers to your Google business profile as well to help you create this consistency. If you're someone here that's really at the beginning of your journey and you're thinking, I haven't got a website yet, I'd really, really like to build a website so I can work on some of these things. Via that Google business listing, you can also create a free website via Google Sites. Now, I would say that this is maybe your sort of midway stop to building a full site later down the line. But if you are someone here that's thinking, I need to get a portfolio up or I need to get something really simple to just have a space, this could be the tool for you. Now, if you haven't bought your own domain, then your website will be whatever your business name is, .business.site as default, as standard. But if you own your own domain, so for example, if I'd bought the domain kirstysbakery.com, I can attach my domain to my Google site and it will say kirstysbakery.com as my website. So you've got both options there as well. Now, if you've already created a Google business listing, when you create the Google Sites, it will automatically draw all of that information from your Google business listing into the website, which is amazing because that can help you with all sorts of, making sure that all the facts are the same. It's pulled across all the most important information. When it comes to optimizing the listing itself, again, add those opening hours and make sure they're up to date. I went to a coffee shop yesterday and it said they were open till 8 p.m. and actually they were closing at 5. Really very annoying. So start to think about how you can make sure that you know everything is up to date. Again, continue to add those photos and reply to those reviews as we've talked about earlier. Now, there's also the feature of adding posts to your Google business profile, which is essentially like adding small blog posts with an image and a call to action button in your Google listing that will then appear within search or within maps. So you can start to use those posts to tell customers what's new. You can post directly to your business listing. You can share special offers, promotions with any potential customers that are finding your profile. And finally, what's great about this Google business profile and any kind of listing profile that you create, they all come with their own set of insights. Fantastic. We never stop researching as marketers, and that's super, super important. Continuing to understand who's searching for us, what's the customer journey, how are they connecting with our business, and really starting to use these insights to create a better, more succinct journey online for our customers is how we can continue to improve that presence. Now, again, we talk a lot about insights and the analytics in a session that is all about getting started with analytics. So please do join us for that session in the future if this is something that you feel a little bit more unsure about. But that does bring us to the end of a very fun, jam-packed session today. I've got 2 minutes with you, so let me just try and have a look at these questions. Maybe you could offer some insight on how to engage people from all over the world, e.g. engage them in education workshops. Now, again, it's going to depend, Consta, it's going to depend on your industry. What are you training, what your education workshops are about, but some very quick top tips about that. Thinking about come back to the words. What are you talking about? What education are you offering? Is there a specific topic you're talking about? And starting to do that research in that world. Starting to think about what benefits people would get from your workshops and how you can talk about that in your online space. And then also thinking, if you're offering from all over the world, are you making sure that you've got things like translation services on your website, and you're really starting to target that so that people can access your content in their own language? There'd be my 3 top tips for you to get started there. And the final question before we wrap up, we add our main focus keyword on the heading of Google Business page, so it will really impact on our keywords ranking on Google Maps results. Hold on, let me just read that a little bit. If we add our main focus keyword on the headings of our Google My Business page, it will impact our keywords ranking on Google Maps results. It's not just about adding that your main keyword to every title. Again, remember the keyword stuffing, if that's kind of what you're saying. But it will definitely help make sure that your customers know what you are. However, if you're talking about the name of your Google business profile, the name should be the name of your business. So your keywords are going to go in things like the description of your business, your posts, labeling the photographs that you post, that kind of thing. So I hope that helps, Gaurav. Okay, I can't see any more questions. In terms of next steps, I've mentioned a couple of different sessions for you to join on to next, like get started with analytics, get started with ads. Don't forget g.co/UK mentoring, that fantastic opportunity for free one-to-one mentoring. Would love to see you there. And finally, we'd love to hear your feedback. So we have a feedback form that Tammy's going to post for you, goo.gov/digital garage feedback. We'd love to know what more we could do to help you get started with your online presence. So other than that, thank you for all your questions. Thanks for your engagement. I'm going to wrap up here because we are out of time, 1 minute over in fact. And I hope that was a really useful dive into how to get visible with your business on Google. Have a great day and thank you very much.